What's up, everyone? Eric with HamRadioConcepts. Good to make a video again. Been a little slow lately trying to come up with some ideas, but check this out. You know, I was thinking, what could my next video be on? And 3 days ago, today's May 7th, well, May 4th arrives a package in the mail. And who's it from? Isotip. Check this out. So if you haven't seen my previous video that I did on the Isotip 7700 cordless soldering iron. I did it about a year ago. Love this thing. Use it all the time. You can tell by the tip. Still holds a great charge. I got the extra tip taped to the side here because I like to lose stuff. But this thing has done me well. I love it. I did a video on this. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. Works great. And this is cordless using battery powered. So Isotip sent me the new Solderpro 90 butane soldering iron and torch kit. Butane. So now it's not using batteries. And they sent me a nice little letter. This is sweet. So basically, we would like to thank you for your support of the Isotip product line. Thank you for the positive exposure you gave our model 7700 Quick Charge Pro with your online community. You guys, thank you for the positive results. We have worked hard to make our soldering tools stand above the rest, which you clearly showcased throughout the review. And as a token of their appreciation, they enclosed the new Model 9010 Pro 90 Butane Soldering Iron Torch Kit. And for you, my friends on YouTube, if you're seriously interested in buying one of these, hit me up on Facebook or email, and I will give you a 20% off discount code to use and pick yourself up one of these. You are my friend, so I will share it with you. So thank you, Isotip. And I'm gonna show you this thing real quick and try to make it short and sweet, but how cool it is. And why this is going to be my new favorite toy in here. I'm not going to put the 7700 in the retirement home yet, but everyone has their application. So someone might say, well, I have a cordless battery-powered one. Why would I want the butane? Okay, well, let's check this out. The thing comes in a case like this. You can take it with you to work, your different hobbies or travels or wherever you're going with it, in a plastic case. And you can fit everything you need in here, okay? And this lid doesn't want to stay open, so I'll try to do my best. So first in here, the manual, which is available on their website, and their website is in the description, so check that out if you're interested. Shows you how to fill it, shows you the specs, show you how to change tips. I'll try to show you that real quick here, and if you need and you purchase this, you can reference this manual. But starting with what you get. So before I go there, looking at this, it's a 25 watt to 80 watt power range. I guess that's equivalent power range to something like an electric iron, but it's butane. And applications: electrical, electronic circuit repair, jewelry, model building, arts and crafts, even thawing frozen locks, because it's not just a soldering iron, it's a torch, and I'll show you that in a minute. So right off the bat, it's multi-purpose compared to something like my 7700. So they're both portable, but this one has a few more advantages with applications. Starting with the device here, the Pro 90, very lightweight, ergonomic feel. And I only put a little bit of butane in this, but even if it was full, it's not going to make it weigh anymore. So it is half the weight of the 7700 or probably any battery-powered one because it doesn't have batteries in it. So this, I'm sure, is one of the lightest ones. Butane ones are probably the lightest you can get. Very ergonomic. I mean, it feels comfortable in the hand. So with the protective cap on here, I could pop that off, and I could use this like a pencil and do some spots on a circuit board or wherever comfortably. Okay, I would say a little more comfortable than the 7700. It feels more like a precision pen with a foot on the bottom. So every soldering iron should have a foot on it. And like I said, it uses butane. If for some reason you don't live on Earth and you're not sure what butane is, it is in your lighters. Butane lighter, cigar lighter, cigarette lighter, grill lighter. Now, I'm gonna teach you something about butane in a second, so stay with me. So the butane goes in the bottom here. The tank is in here. I don't see a window I guess maybe not a big deal unless you're really heavy into soldering all day long. But this thing goes a long way on some butane, I can tell you. No window there, but not a big deal, I don't think. The dial here, this is where you would adjust your heat range. So all the way to the left would be off. All the way to the right would be fully on. And you hear that? All right. So I put a little bit of butane in there already. So you can adjust the butane, the heat range here, okay? When you get it where you want it, you would simply, or you would turn it on. That's like a grill igniter. Okay? It sends a spark up here and gets it going. Now, what's interesting, which I learned about, is up here in the top, they have what's called a catalyst. And maybe this is all butane soldering irons. Maybe this is just isotip. But basically, you're not having a steady flame the whole time while this is going. You can solder with this thing. You can quickly heat it up, and I'll show you. It'll get hot real quick. You can shut it off, but then you can turn it back on a minute later without even hitting the igniter, and it comes right back on, almost instant ready. So I'll show you that. When you want to change tips, well, first of all, it does come with 3 tips plus the torch thing on the top. Okay, and I'll show you that. Now these are regular tips. Okay, not regular. We'll call this one the 1 millimeter conical. What it comes with. The 2.5 millimeter conical on here that I put on here, and the hot knife. Now I can't say I've ever used the hot knife. Maybe for several different applications, but if you are one of my followers and you want to throw your comments in here on what you use this for, very well. Teach the others that are watching. And the torch. Well, jet torch. It's not for soldering. It's just basically throwing out a hot flame. And you can use this for heat shrink. You can use this for, like it said, frozen locks. You know, you don't want to bust out a huge Coleman torch or a MAP gas torch just to heat up a lock. You can fire this thing up right away. And inside here they have those, looks like those catalysts are in all of these things. So basically, when you want to change a tip, you'd unscrew the end. All right. You drop the tip out. Okay. You wanted to put this tip in, you just drop it in. That's it. You put this back on like this. You're ready to go. Now you do not, of course, you do not want to do this when this is hot. All right. So a little common sense is involved. Changing tips, you know, if you're in between, let it cool down a couple minutes. Now I'm going to put this other one back on because this is the one I've already started playing with, this 2.5 millimeter. But here's where the gas comes out. And as I'll show you, you don't have really a constant flame. Once it heats that catalyst up, it just feeds butane into it. And the butane keeps that thing glowing. So you don't have this raging flame in here that's just cooking this thing. And at the same time, though, it holds heat for a long time. So you can turn the flame off and still solder. It doesn't have to be glowing red for you to continue soldering. You can get it glowing red, get the tip hot, tin it, and then turn it off and solder it. So you can see that it's not a constant flow of butane the entire time. So let's give that a shot here. And also they do give you a tube of solder. This is probably just standard rosin core solder in a tube that you can refill if you're crafty enough around a drill bit or a pencil. You can refill that thing. Tube dispenser here for solder. And a sponge in here for cleaning the tip. Now, I'm going to leave the how-to solder video to the other established YouTubers that want to show you how to solder. I know how to solder, but this is not what this video is going to be. It's just showing you about this cool invention here, this cool, ISO tip I got. But you can see what happens. It's my fault for having not cleaned this tip in a while. I don't know if the camera can pull that up, but it's a little gunky. So what you would do is heat that up. You make the sponge moist in here. Or you can take that out or whatever you want to do. But basically, heat it up, get that thing moist, and then you'd clean your tip off like this, retin it, and ready to go. And that's very important when you're talking about precision electronics, because if you got a glob of solder on the end of this thing and you're accidentally bridging 2 contacts that aren't supposed to be bridged, and there you go. But so here's what you do. Basically, turn the fuel on. You'll hear it hissing. And just click this thing one time. All right, there it goes. Now, you can see in there it's glowing red. All right? And now that it's glowing red about a few seconds, I'm going to turn it off. It's not glowing red anymore. But check this out. Oh, I didn't let it get hot enough. Instant on. Look at that. Comes right back on. So, okay, once you get the tip hot, all right, you can shut that off, and you can continue to solder. If I don't burn my new desk here, continue to solder, and now the catalyst in there you can see is off. It's not cold, it's hot. Watch this. You just turn it back on. Instant on. All right. Give it a few seconds. Turn it off. All right. So unless this thing sits for a couple minutes, then you have to, reignite it with the electric igniter. But other than that, it's still hot right now. I can still solder. I mean, the end is hot. So it almost like stays hot, Then you just turn it back on, gets hot, turn it off, and that just kind of keeps the temperature where you want it. If you need to use it for something extremely hot where you need the 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, you might have to keep it on all the time, but I don't know. I mean, delicate electronics, you'll never have that hot. So, let me tell you something about butane. What do you not want to put in this thing? If your answer was Ronson, you're correct. Trivia. Raise your hand if you know what this is. That's a cigar cutter, a new one I haven't even used yet. I am somewhat of a cigar aficionado in my hobby. And what do you think I don't put in my lighters? Is Ronson. Exactly. This in the manual states you want to use premium butane fuel. And I'm going to show you what premium fuel looks like. And this is not a plug for this company, but this is what I have. Just because there's a cigar store here in Vero Beach that I frequent, and I picked it up. Now this is premium butane gas triple refined. And this is a high quality butane. I think Zippo makes a double refined or something, and that may be better than the regular stuff. But if you want this thing to last, you want to use premium butane. And the reason is because, for instance, my cigar lighters, they have like a 4-jet. I have a 4-jet, a 3-jet, a 1-jet. And it depends. If I want to use my quad jet lighter, it's got all 4 burners going. Well, over time, I've found when you use garbage butane, traditionally at the dollar store or grocery store or whatever, those jets start clogging up. They spit, they sputter, they don't burn clean. Next thing you know, you paid $55 for a 4-burner Zycar, and you're lighting your cigar with a flame and a half. I mean, it just, and then people want to send their cigar lighters back and get them worked on and stuff. Avoid all that. Use a better butane. So, this stuff, what I picked up was $3.95 a bottle. And this bottle will last you a long time in this thing. And I encourage you to look at other brands. Zycar, any other premium one. It doesn't have to be this one. This is just what the cigar guy at the store recommends. And if you're in the market for any butane, not even specifically this one, but if you're in the market for any butane soldering iron, get yourself some good butane. It's going to make you last a long time. I love when I go to the cigar stores and they have the lighters on the tables, and those are the ones that the people put the Zippo fluid in, and you can just sit down and light a cigar and use one, and the thing barely lights. I mean, it's just crappy. So then they want you to go up and buy another one. Then they want to sell you this stuff, because they know if you don't buy this stuff, you'll be back in 2 months later for a new lighter. So anyways, enough about the cigar stuff. Just wanted to throw that in. So the ISOTIP Pro 90, I love it. I think it's awesome. Now this thing's been sitting about 2 minutes. If I turn the butane back on, it's not glowing red until I click the button. Then it comes on. All right. But very cool. And now that that's hot, I should have realized I would have put this torch on here. But now that it's hot, I don't feel like letting it wait to cool down. But this would basically be your torch to heat up, heat shrink and stuff like that, and throw just a, not even a flame, just a really high temperature concentrated heat out of here that you can use for small sections of heat shrink or melting other plastic things inside some circuits you're working at. But a very cool. Hey, thank you, Isotip, for sending this out for me to check out. And thank everybody for watching it. And I thank each and every one of you for subscribing and following me. If you feel inclined, please consider a donation to my channel, even $1. A donation will help me bring way more material and keep my ideas fresh and get you guys some of the latest videos. It takes some effort to make these, and I hope you appreciate them. If you've learned anything about something like this in a video, consider a small donation. It'd be great. 7-3, thanks for watching. All the links are in the description below. And please. Comment, thumbs up, and 7-3 from KJ4YZI.